Hey, welcome to Culinary Conversations. I'm your host, Victoria Lewis, and I'm so happy that you chose to join us at the dinner table today. Today, I have my beautiful friend Chelsea with us today, and she is, oh my gosh, y'all, the best friend ever. She has an amazing heart. She is full of so much wisdom. She has a blog called Christian Curvy Cool, the three C's. She's also a nurse and a divorced single mom of one, my Nisi Poo Skylar, Sky Baby. So I am so happy that you are joining us today. Today we're going to talk about life after divorce, balancing self-care and motherhood, and stewarding your finances well while being a single parent. And when I say my friend is killing it financially out here, she is doing a doggone thing. So before we dive into this conversation, what are we eating or sipping on today? So Chelsea and I made a chicken parmesan spinach mushroom pasta. Now this dish includes seasoned and pan-seared to perfection chicken breast paired with pasta noodles, sauteed spinach and mushrooms. You get a little hint of garlic, Italian herbs, some Cajun spices, and topped with some Parmesan cheese. And I must say, it's pretty delicious. Chels, how did it go for you? How was your dish?
Listen, I have loved it. I'm ready to eat some more right now. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's the culinary effect. So I'm so glad that you enjoyed, and everything was easy to follow, and the dish turned out great. So let's
It's
dive
really good.
in real quick.
Mm, mm, mm. While I was cooking it, I was like, I could make like a lemon garlic butter sauce to put on top.
That's a really great idea.
That was so
I'm gonna
good.
have to try that next time I make it.
I made a little video where I said, this is what happens when you're cooking with culinary effect. You feel like you would sell yourself.
That's what I want for everybody to feel like, when you're cooking these recipes, you're your own home chef. And then also
Hmm.
just really like with my platform, I really want to encourage people to get back in the kitchen and start cooking for themselves because for one,
Baby,
it tastes so much better when you cook at home. And then you'll
the
have
food
more.
hit different.
It hits so much differently. And then you'll have more to eat on. So you'll have leftovers. So you get more bang for your buck. So it just
Hmm.
is so much better to just cook at home rather
And
than
you're in
going out and
control of how much goes into your portion sizes, as well
mm-hmm.
as you can financially figure out, okay, how much am I spending for this? So
Yep. Yep,
that's
that's
probably
true.
why I like to cook at home.
And you're controlling what you're putting in your body as well. You're controlling the sodium, you're
Hmm.
controlling the seasonings, and you're controlling not having any extra additional artificials or additives that don't necessarily need to be in there. So,
Exactly.
yeah, let me see your dish, girl. Let me see what you made.
I'm over here tearing it up.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
Okay. It looks good, boo.
I was trying to plate it
You did a phenomenal job plating it.
because I know you in the presentation. You be killing it with the presentation.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. So I am super excited to talk to you because, for one, Chels, you're an amazing woman of God. You're very intelligent. You are always sharing a lot of wisdom with me. Like, I know Chels is my friend that whenever I'm going through my toughest storms, she is there to encourage me and she is there to remind me that I'm worthy of all the things that God has for me. So I want to make sure I'm giving you your flowers before we dive into this conversation and just say thank you and I appreciate your friendship.
Oh,
So
thank
let's
you.
get into the conversation.
Ooh.
And I I always ask my guests this because I feel like it's a very intuitive question to ask. So, do you think your younger self would be
Mhm.
proud of the woman that you are today, and why?
Ooh, I think she would be very excited to see the perseverance that I was able to maintain going through all the challenges. So I do think my younger self would be very happy. I
Yeah,
think she would.
That's great. That's great. You have overcome a lot, and we're gonna dive right into that. I do know that you're somebody who's very resilient, and you've persevered through some tough storms, and I'm just proud of you for that. So
Thank you.
let's talk about some of those tough storms. One of which is your divorce. So, what was the most
Hmm.
significant lesson that you've learned, that you would say that you have learned from marriage and divorce?
Wow. I would say the most significant thing that I learned is that everything is a process. Being married is a process. Being divorced is a process. And you have to figure out how are you going to get through that process. Are you going to do it on your own? Because that can be very difficult. Or are you going to do it with God and allow God to really mold you and correct you and teach you? When you can allow God to really direct your path, I'm not going to say that you will be without problems. You're not going to be without problems, but you're going to be able to get through the storms so much better. And that's for anything, in any from work to marriage to divorce. It's a process, and how you get through it is how you get through it. As long as you do it with God, it's gonna be a lot more rewarding in the end.
Amen, sis. Amen. And through that process, was there some like personal growth or realizations that you discovered about yourself by going through that
Ooh.
process?
One thing I learned for sure is that you can know that you're healed from your divorce or from difficult situations when you can identify any of the wrongs you did. Because it's easy to put all of the blame on someone else. It's easy to say, "Oh well, he did this or she did that," or da 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 da. What did I do? Okay, like there was a hammer and a nail that nailed the coffin of our marriage, but it wasn't just him doing the hammering. Okay, I had some faults of my own, and I think about it like this: my parents have been married 44 years. Shout out to mom
Wow,
and
that's
dad; they
beautiful.
the OGs. But I realized I never asked my mom what did it take to be a wife. And you fantasize about how they met. Like my parents met in college. They were college sweethearts. I thought that's how it went. And so I never asked her throughout the thick of it after having kids and having job changes. We even moved. We started out in Louisiana, then we moved to Arkansas, and then we're all back in Louisiana. And but I never asked her how did she become a wife? What did that take? What did that look like? And it wasn't until I became a wife that I asked those questions. And I would say I was kind of behind the eight ball on that. I should have asked prior to. And she tried to guide me along the way, but it was just my sister and I. My dad was so adamant about making sure that he taught us you got to be independent. You got to know, how to do things for yourself. Can't depend on a man. But then when you get married, you need to learn how to depend on your husband, though. Like, it's not good to just stay in this independent mind state. And that's where I was. And sometimes that clash because we both trying to be the head, and only one really needs to be the head. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep, that's so true. That's some really good advice. And I need to talk to Mama, Mama and Daddy, because 44 years, baby, that's a
Baby,
blessing. Okay. And I
that's just
know,
married. They dated for like 2 or 3 years prior to that. So,
yeah. So that's more than half their life. So yes,
yeah.
I would love to talk to Mama and get some advice as well. Just because I didn't grow up in a two-parent household, so or at least
Yeah.
I did for maybe 10 years. But then my mom went through a divorce during my
Mhm.
teenage years, so I haven't really seen
Yeah.
long-lasting, healthy marriage. Um, it literally right there growing up with it. I know
Mhm.
people like my grandparents, they were married for a while, but seeing it right there in my home, I'm sure that was an amazing experience to experience that and see healthy love
Yes.
right there in your home and experiencing that. But I was also sure that as a child, you probably didn't see everything. And But I'm glad that you at least asked
Mm-mm.
those questions and got that direction during your marriage. But I'm mostly proud that you, through your healing process, throughout after the aftermath of the divorce, that you realized and learned that it wasn't just that person, it was also me as well. I had my fault, and
Yep.
you're healing from that, and you recognize that, because
Exactly.
it takes two for a marriage to work, and it takes two for a marriage to fail. So
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
And that's in anything. Like you really have to see, your side of it as well, because we do
Hmm.
become blind to our own actions, because we're us. We're living. We're team number one. We're us. But
Hmm.
you have to
Yeah.
see that there was some contributions that you made to it doing great and to it failing.
That's so true, sis. That's so true. And I'm curious, since experiencing that, experiencing married, and then experiencing going through the divorce process and now being divorced, what is your perspective on love
Mhm.
and relationships now?
Oh my goodness. I think I love love even more. I know this
Mm,
sounds so crazy, but because I took the time to do the healing, and this
yeah.
was not a 30-day fix. This was years. The divorce was finalized in 2020. My heart wasn't even open to relationships again until just last year. But I still love love because God created it.
Yeah.
And I can't hate anything that God made. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
All my closest best friends are married, and I love their marriages. I love that they're in love. I love that they are together. I still see it
mm,
with my parents, and I know that
yeah.
God still has it for me. Like there's no period on that for me. I know that I'll
Mm-mm.
get married again, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll be amazing, and I'll be in the right mind state going into it. Because I have to be honest with myself. When I went into my last marriage, I did it out of fear that he was the best that I could get. We had already dated for many years. I didn't want to start over with someone else. And, you know, it what I ended up doing is I put more faith in my fear instead of putting my faith in God. And had I kept my faith in God on his direction for my life, who knows who I would have married at first.
Mm,
However, because that wasn't the case, God works all things together, right?
mm-hmm.
All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and called according to his purpose. So, yeah, that may not have turned out all right, but the next one will. I love it.
Yes.
God, listen, what God puts together, baby, no one can pull apart. Okay?
Listen,
Okay?
amen. Period. Because, baby, for one, you are a catch. Okay, so the next one, the next one, oh, baby.
Baby, they're going to be
Mm.
so excited.
I can't wait. I can't wait. But in due time, I'm also, and even in this season right now, like you're thriving and you're doing so well. And I know that, like, getting through that, for one, getting through going through a divorce and being divorced, being a single parent, I know that you have an amazing village. I'm sure that has contributed to the reason why you're able to thrive, and the reason why you're able to have a sane mind is, of course, through Jesus, but also through your support system, also through therapy. And
Yes.
I'm proud of you for choosing to continue to keep going, and I'm thankful to God that God has carried you through that storm, because ultimately He is the one that has power over our storms. So we're gonna
Baby,
have the
that's it.
storms, but He's the one that has power over our storms. But baby, the rainbow has came, okay? And I'm just so proud of you, sis.
Listen,
So that's great.
so much like when if you look at the story of when the disciples was in the boat and there was a storm going on, where was Jesus? The Bible is so specific. They
Mm,
said he was laying down with a
sleep.
pillow. They wanted you to know he was comfortable. Okay, so that's how God be wanting us to be in our storms. Like
Sleep.
he's like, be comfortable.
Right. You'll be all right. I got you. I got you. Just, trust me. Trust me. Don't be worrying about what's going on out here. Trust me. The house is tearing
I'm pressed
apart, but
on.
don't worry about that. So,
I'm glad you said that. That reminds me. So during the divorce, there was something God specifically told me to do, and He told me through Latrice.
mm,
So speaking of our village, y'all, when you have a village that are Christians, I mean, they really, when I'm not saying these people are perfect because I'm not perfect, none of us are. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about people whose heart is submitted to God. Like, I want to do the will of God. When you have a village of that,
Mm-hmm.
listen, the sisters in Christ back in Little
Listen,
Rock,
powerful. We powerful sisterhood. I love
powerful.
y'all.
The Lord spoke to her and told her to tell me. I still have the screenshot of the text message. Get off social media until I tell you to get back on.
Mm.
I was like, you mean,
Mm.
Lord, you mean to tell me that I can't scroll on Instagram and find some sub tweets and some things to show that I'm really hurting, but I don't want people to think I'm hurting, but I'm gonna post this anyway. So I can't do that, Lord? No, I had to get off of social media and
Mm.
consecrate myself with Him. I went to work,
Mm.
I raised my child, and I sat before Him. It was
Mm.
difficult because as a people person like I am,
Yeah.
I'm trying to scroll and He said, "No, I need your focus. I
Mm.
need your focus." And now
Mm.
that if I had not done that, I don't know what this would have looked like on this
Mm.
post divorce life for me.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to also touch on the importance of, because you chose to be obedient in it, and because you were able to, because you chose obedience, and sacrificing, not showing, like, because you are a people person, you love community, but God told you to sit still, remove those distractions, and
That's it.
obey Him and listen. And in that stillness, He has freed you. He has healed you, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's just amazing. And we're gonna get to that, but just where you are today, post divorce, ain't nobody but God. It's
Mm-hmm.
nobody but
That's it.
God,
Listen, and
and
definitely not Chelsea.
nobody but God. And I'm thankful, just speaking also on our sisterhood that we have, and the ladies of believers that we are, and able to hear from God. It's, especially trees, because when you get a message from trees, you know.
I'm always nervous, like, she said, "Hey,
uh,
boo." Okay,
I
what
know
that mean?
it's the hey boo. The message afterwards. Oh, we love you,
what
trees.
what is
So,
it? Yeah,
so, but it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I always describe our friendship, our sisterhood, as a representation of Christ's love. Like what I feel like we would get in heaven. Like, we're not perfect,
yeah.
but it's a piece of heaven on earth. That's what our
Mm,
friendship feels like to me, and it's just so
it's
beautiful.
so
It's so
sweet.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
What we have, and it's nobody, and it's centered around Christ, and the love that we have for Him.
Exactly.
That's the example on how we are, with how we treat each other and how we love each other.
Exactly.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so my single mommy for right now, how has single motherhood reshaped your sense of self and identity?
So, okay. So during that quiet season with the Lord, He ended up telling me to start a blog, and I was like, "What?" And it's a caveat to that because there's a two-part to it. So one is for what He wanted to do through it, and the other thing is what He helped me financially because of it. So I'll get on that in a second. But He had me start a blog called Christian Curvy Cool. He is the Holy Spirit literally is the one who gave me the name. I was driving. I was driving actually to Louisiana to come see my parents, and I was like, "Lord, what should I name this blog?" And I was like, He was like, "These are the things that make up you. You're a Christian. You're curvy because plus size. Come on." And I'm cool. Like, I'm cool with everyone. You know what I'm saying? And so He was like, "I want you to be relatable to people because that's going to help heal them." So years prior, I wanted to start a fashion blog a long time ago, and I just never got to it. But then that year, I started Christian Curvy Cool, and through that, through being a single mom and going through a divorce, God showed me, don't lose yourself in being a mama. put your makeup on, girl. Slick your edges back. Okay, because they
Because
slick.
maybe they slick down.
Okay. Like, get yourself together. Like, don't let what you're going through, dictate how you are, how you act towards people, how you, dress yourself, how you dress your child. Skylar and I, we both go out the house looking good. Okay, my mom always said that, when you step outside, you represent God, your family, and then yourself. You will last on their list, honey. Represent me well. That's what my mom used to say. Okay, so
I love it.
listen, I got to get Vivian on the show because my mama she's a vibe.
Come on, mama.
But I'm gonna have to tell her, you're gonna have to get over your fear of speaking and just come do it because she's a wealth of knowledge. But it's a choice. Single motherhood, also not being afraid to ask your community. Victoria, when after I got to come out to Atlanta and travel nurse out there, which was so awesome. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, I love Atlanta, the whole, Fayetteville, all the cities.
I miss you too.
I had to, girl, I miss you. So I had to come back to Arkansas, and I was not happy about it. I was not. I was very, very upset. There was a situation where my daughter couldn't stay with her dad any longer, and she had to come back with me. So, navigating, as a single mom, okay, who's going to watch her while I work? Because my family lived in Louisiana at this time. I'm in Arkansas essentially by myself. And then that's when I started coining the phrase family. I would tell y'all are my family. I kid you not, I would work the weekends. And on the weekends, each one of the girls out of our group, I got Sky Baby this weekend. A few of my friends from church, I got Sky Baby this weekend. And y'all, they wouldn't even charge me. I would try to send money sometimes, and they'd be like, why you send me this? I'm about to reject this cash out. And then, like, you listen, ask for the help. Because God, listen, don't be so prideful that you don't ask for the help, because you don't know what blessing you missing out on it. Yeah. You have no clue, and you don't know what blessing someone else is missing out on that. Because there was a friend of mine who had a drop-off daycare that she was trying to start up, and every now and again, I would utilize her. And because of that, she was able to thrive in her business. So now, by me not being disobedient, me being obedient to what God said, hey, ask for the help, it ended up having a thriving business for someone else. So I would say, don't look at single motherhood as if you are used goods. Those thoughts came in my mind too. The enemy gonna throw them, honey. Kevin Samuels had everybody thinking that if you're a single mom, you're used goods, okay?
Not Kevin Samuels.
But no, seriously, but society and social media will tell you that you cannot do anything now that you have a child, and that's just not true. It's not true.
Period. That's so true.
You'll be surprised who all you can connect with through that. So it's been a eye-opening revelation for me.
That's beautiful, and I feel like you handled it well, because society does it's a lot of misconceptions with single parenthood, and I know my mom was a single mom for a period, and single mom of 4, and I still she's also a nurse, just as like you, and I still don't know how she did it, but like I said, y'all are. The single mamas are some powerful women, okay? Y'all are some powerful women, resilient women, and
thank you.
And I'm just proud of you. And regardless of what the misconceptions that society says, baby, you thriving, you doing well, okay? You are doing well, and I want to tap into going from, you and your family, and then being divorced. And I know there was a lifestyle adjustment and change for you and your child. How did you get to that place, and what gave you that mindset of being able to be financially responsible and stewarding your finances well?
Well, honestly, it started out young in general. My,
Mm-hmm.
as my dad calls my mom, she is the president of the financial services of the Sutton household. Okay, my mom taught me how to budget. Okay, I had the little checkbook things back when I was younger and everything. I had my ups and downs. Okay, but once I went through the divorce, we went from six figure to income to now it's solo dolo five. I think I was what, five figure income. Like it was kind of, I was nervous,
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, whoa, okay, now I've got to handle all this on my own.
Yeah.
Budgeting was not a problem for me. We were, I would, try to teach my husband at the time how to budget. It was falling on deaf ears, but now it's like, okay, well, now you're on your own, so you can handle your own budget. How we gonna budget this money?
Mm-hmm.
So, I know a lot of people. It's like, oh, well, you're a nurse, so you make a lot. Da, da. Yes, however, my expenses are just as big. Okay, because now I have
Mm-hmm.
this child really to myself, and there is no child support. We did joint custody at the time, and although essentially that ended up changing to where I pretty much have her full time, literally, God told me, I take care of you, not him.
Mm-hmm.
And so until God tells me so, I'm not, making any custody changes or doing anything on the legal end because God
Mm-hmm.
really has taken care of me. He
Mm-hmm.
told me to start the blog, not just to help other women being single moms and going through divorces, but because it became a business for me.
Mm-hmm.
So by making it a business, God showed me how to get deductions and be able to make more through having it as a business. So, I ended up researching a whole lot of stuff. I started being a part of different things. I started being curious, and that's very important. Start
Mm-hmm.
being curious. Don't be so focused on what the numbers looking like in your pocket right now. Be curious
Yes.
about how to make more, how to get a high interest yield and savings account, how to
Come
make
on.
sure that you get a life insurance policy because baby, one day it will be the end day for you.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to make sure that you pass the generational wealth on? I started listening to Dave Ramsey like every day. And
Mm-hmm.
then, Anthony O'Neill, I ended up following him religiously. Okay, still
Mm-hmm.
do.
Mm-hmm.
I even called into the show one time and he gave me amazing tips that I recorded and put as a reel on my Instagram. So y'all gotta check it out on
Oh,
Christian
that's
Kirk.
so dope.
Cool. But Anthony O'Neill really was beneficial for me as far as being focused on my finances, having that emergency savings, paying up.
Yes.
And so you have to budget. You got to know where's your finances going. If you don't know
Mm-hmm.
where it's going, then you're going to keep chasing your tail. Also, telling yourself no. Learn how to tell yourself no. We good and grown. I'm grown. I'm grown. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
be so grown that you tell yourself no. Do
Mm.
I want do I want to buy all the things? Absolutely. But I have to look at what's most important for me and for Skylar.
Yes, the having that financial discipline is vital, and I'm sure it's even
Exactly.
more vital as a single parent. And I love some of the things, the gems that you were dropping. And I hope to any other, not just single mamas or moms who's going to the divorce or just anybody out there. I hope y'all taking what she, taking heed to what she was saying, and also being
Hmm.
curious and looking at some of the resources that she mentioned with Dave Ramsey and Anthony
Yes,
O'Neill. It's so much out there
it
um,
really is.
that you can
It really
educate
is.
yourself on and get yourself in a better place financially. So that's amazing, sis.
Hmm.
That's amazing. And I know
Yeah.
one of the things that you mentioned that you shared with me, and hopefully we can talk about it here too, where you
Hmm.
mentioned that one of your goals, ultimately financial goals, is to invest into properties for single moms. Can you
Yes.
share a little bit more about that?
So, and what's funny is that was one of the questions that I asked Anthony about was this is my dream to create a community for single moms. And not that y'all stay in single motherhood, it's just to get a start.
Mm.
So this year I bought a home. Okay. I bought a
Woo-hoo.
home and it was, listen, y'all, I'm loving it. Okay. I'm trying to slow myself down because I just want to pack this thing out, but budget. Remember, budget.
Budget is
But
key.
budget is very key. So the Lord told a friend of mine who ended up telling me, Chelsea, you need to teach other single moms how they can purchase a home. And it went right along with the dream I had of starting a community where I would make rent to own homes for women who want to buy a home, live in a safe place, live in a safe home, and then it's a community. So then different women can help and support one another. I don't know if I'll ever get it. I think I will. I feel like I will. But that's one of my biggest goals is to create that and teach financial literacy and business development and things like that. So it's not just nursing with you, girl. I love nursing. Don't get me wrong. But there are just some more things that I want to do to help, women who are just like me, have been in the same spaces that I've been in and trying to start from scratch.
First off, one thing we're gonna do is remove that because we're gonna say that you will get it. That you
I'm gonna
will
get
you will accomplish
it. I'm
this,
gonna get it.
okay? We're not doing that. No, 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 no. God calls you to it, so he gonna see you through it, baby girl. No, we're not doing
Can I
that.
get that on a shirt? I need that on a
We are
shirt.
not doing that. No. So, yeah.
Through that, though, when we ask God for something, real talk, God, I need water. God will put a whole river right in front of you, but He cannot make you drink. It is your choice. And I choose to do what He tells me to do, and I choose to search for myself the resources to help me. Last year, I had a real estate coach. His name was Henry Washington, lived in Northwest Arkansas. The way I found out about him, I was listening to a podcast. Sometimes turn the radio off, y'all, and listen to some podcasts. Again, that's what I mean when I say be curious. Start putting yourself in the places where you want to be, learning the information you want to learn, so
Yep.
that when it is time, God is like, look how you stewarded what I taught you, what I gave you. You have an iPhone. You stewarded your iPhone to listen to the free podcast that come on your phone. And it's all about how are you going to steward what God is giving you? Steward your child, because your child is not yours. Your child is the Lord's. How are you going to steward this gift God is giving you? This body that God is giving you, these finances, this job, everything that God is giving you. How are you going to steward it? And that's what He's looking for. That's what He wants to see in each and every one of us. So you're
Yes.
right. I am going to succeed in this, and it will happen.
Yes, it will in Jesus' name. It is going to happen. And I know that you have these amazing, grand goals and goals that you will accomplish. But, sis, how do you balance your mental health, your self care, and prioritizing and taking care of your child?
Mm. It can definitely be tough sometimes. It can. I'm not gonna say that I get it right every single day. That's just impossible for me. Um, but one thing I knew is that it's funny, y'all. Yesterday when Victoria and I were just kind of chatting, I told her how this was a full circle moment. In October of 2020, I tried to take my life, and it was because I didn't fully grieve the divorce and the fact that my life had changed so drastically, so fast, that all I was doing was moving, 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 moving at God's speed. But I didn't take time to heal what I wasn't revealing, which was my whole life changed in a matter of minutes, because this was an unexpected divorce, right? None of us saw it coming. None
Yeah.
of us saw it coming. Um, and it was at that moment that I realized, okay, I gotta get some therapy. I gotta get some therapy. And I think God was ushering me into that, because at that time I was watching Transformation Church, and Pastor Mike did a series called FU, which was Forgiveness University, at the exact same time. And what I learned through that was, when you don't take the time to forgive, then not only does it cause a spiritual death, it causes a physical death, because you start storing up bitterness and wrath. So taking care of my mental health was most important. I started going to a therapist. That broke down the generational curse of, we don't see therapists. You're Christian, you just pray about it. Yes, prayer is good, but he said that there is safety in a multitude of counselors.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can go to a medical doctor for my physical needs and health, I can see a psychiatrist or a therapist for my mental needs.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that helped me even in my career so that I'm not ruminating over life's circumstances while I'm at work. I'm getting my spiritual because I still, put my time in with the Lord. But I'm also getting my practical because now the therapist is showing me tips and tricks on what I can do to navigate, being a single mom, going through all these different things because these are life changes. And
Mm-hmm.
so with my study time, I incorporate Skylar into it a lot. Baby, Skylar is anointed, okay? She's gonna be
It
somebody's little
is.
preacher one day.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody's preacher. When I say she teaches me so much,
Mm.
and y'all don't think that talking about God is too heavy for kids. They're the best ones. Jesus talks about, listen, the least of these will be the greatest. Okay, so
Mm.
he's talking about the children, like the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Their faith is so much better than ours. If I
Mm-hmm.
say, Skylar, I'm gonna get you some ice cream, best believe she believes it, no, doesn't question it, and will remind me, you know. But when it comes to us with God and He says, I got you, we like, but do you got me? I think I got me better than you got me. God, I don't know. God be like your kid, please.
Yes.
So, cutting in, that time, bringing her into my Bible study time. And I still have my own single time with God, but I
Mm.
do it with her. Um,
That's
and
beautiful.
then just, I try not to work too much. Because sometimes you can get in the habit of working all these extra hours and doing this and doing that. Making sure that you spend time with your kid. Seriously, you will not get this time back. I mean, she went from
They grow
baby
so
to now she's
fast.
6.
Yes, they grow so
So fast.
fast.
Ace over here looking 30. I'm like, Ace, you was just a baby.
Shoot, I remember when Sky was just a baby. Like had us watching Mona 557 times.
Boy. Listen, I watched that movie 8 million times and then it moved to Frozen. Ooh.
But that's so beautiful.
Just paying attention to your time is
Yeah.
important. And if you need to take a day off, take a day off.
Mhm.
Have a fun day with your kid.
Yeah. My mental health days are real.
It's awesome.
Use them, and I'm so glad that you're still here with us today, sis.
Thank
I'm so
you.
glad
Thank
that you
you.
didn't choose to take your life that day.
Yeah.
So, in this full circle moment, 3 years later,
Ooh, 3 years later. Look at that.
yeah,
Come on, 3. Come on,
three.
3. Okay.
Yes.
Look, listen, the Lord. Only He could do these things. Only He
Only
could
he
do
can
this.
do it. Only he can do it. I want to talk about so with Sky Baby, with your child, with Skylar. Do you think that y'all relationship has evolved more since post the divorce?
Oh, listen, she's my little mini bestie.
Mm,
So I go to a workout at 4 or 5 a.m. We get up at 4:30 in the morning, and the trainer was like, "You guys seem very close, like." Because he has kids, and he's like, but you all, like, it looks like y'all have like this really special bond. I said, we really
mm,
do. And
yeah.
it's because I don't cut her out of my life. When y'all would invite me places, I'm like, okay, just know Skylar coming. Y'all be like,
Hmm.
you can
Come
bring
on,
Skylar, okay,
bring
because
her.
she coming. And then that's how I can teach her, no, this is not how you act. We don't run around. We're not doing all this. So now she's learning etiquette and hanging out with the big girls. Um, but, trying to find out what she likes,
Hmm.
learning about what she likes and then letting her see what I do in my life and not saying, okay, you got to go to your grandma's house or you got to go over here because I'm going to go do this and this. No, no, I include her in a lot of stuff. Now, I do still have my adult time. Don't get me wrong. You need adult time.
Hmm.
But I include her in a lot. And I think because of that, she feels closer to me. Like, mommy is her best friend. And I love that. I try to cultivate that in the best way that I can.
You're such a great mom. I love that. I love that. and,
You
and you're
are
doing,
too. You are too.
thank you, sis, but you're doing an amazing job with Skylar. And I just wanted to tell you that you were doing an amazing job with Skylar, and you see that through her. When you just said she's anointed, no, y'all, she's really anointed. Like that girl,
You really
some of the things
is.
you be sharing, like what she shared with you, and I just be like, wow, coming out of a child's mouth. Oh gosh, it's so beautiful.
Listen,
It's so beautiful.
because it could have been different, you know. After work, I worked in the NICU for 2 years, and to see what could have been, you know, and that's hard. Um, but I just thank God that he made it a little easy for me because I'm like she's a great kid. She really
Yeah,
is.
she is a great child, and I wonder, um, because you're the primary disciplinary, you're the primary caretaker, you're the primary parent. So
Hmm.
and I'm sure you have moments where you may feel overstimulated or overwhelmed and just stretched
Hmm.
thin. Do you ever feel like your ability to parent is affected based off feeling those emotions, or you're not in a great place mentally? And how
Absolutely.
and how do you overcome those
Absolutely.
things?
About what, a month ago? I say a month ago. I got into this headspace. I call them depressive episodes because I don't know what other words I can call it. But basically, I was just in my head. And it was really because, again, healing is, I think you talked about this with, was it with your mom? But healing is not linear. It's, you go through ebbs and flows, right? So even though I am healed and I'm still healed, but I still have my moments where, maybe a lot is going on at this time and I'm taking on too much. Maybe I haven't spent time in my word for the last couple of days, and now the seeds that Satan was trying to plant are starting to take root. That happened about a month ago, and God didn't let me stay in that place long. I got overstimulated when I was around. Like Skylar was just, y'all, she got the energy of like 14 cheetahs. Okay, she is very energetic, but so am I. So I mean, she get it honest. And I had these moments where I was like, Skylar, you need to go in your room. You need to play with your toys, and you need to leave mommy alone for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna set an alarm, and when that alarm goes off, that's when you can come and hang out with mommy. And she was like, okay. And then she go in the room. I set like the little clock alarm or whatever, and I just went in my room and I just need to decompress.
Yeah.
And there's moments where I'm like, was that bad? I hope that went bad. But then she comes in there and she give me the biggest hug. Or she'll say, Mommy, I love you. And I'm like, okay, I didn't ruin my kid. My kid don't need therapy today because of me. Okay, great, great. Okay, I did it right. But we have our moments. I have my moments. It is not always, and I hope that it doesn't come off like every day is sunshine and daisies. No, there are some rainy days. It is how I persevere through it that changes. Where it may used to take 2 or 3 weeks to get out of a depressive episode, now it's only a matter of hours or a day because I'm I still am sensitive to the Holy Spirit. I'm still sensitive, and what that means is God may send one of my friends to call me, like Maya, and say, "Hey, boo, I got a word from you from God. Let me go on and tell you. It's a hard one, but let me go on and tell you, okay." Or my coworker who walked up to me and was like, "Hey, girl, hey, Holy Spirit just gave me something," and like literally in a matter of seconds, he came up to say, "Hey." Next thing you know, he's writing down the scripture that the Lord put on his mind that answered and confirmed something that I was upset with God about. Not upset at God, but upset, and I went to God about it. And so he'll do those kind of things, but again, it's how you persevere through the lows. So
That daily choice, and
it's a daily choice.
what you just shared with me last night was just so powerful about perseverance and how it is literally choosing God daily for one,
Choosing God daily.
but also perseverance is also what is your faith, looking at what your faith looks like and choosing to trust in God even
Yes.
even when things is shaky, you're still
Yes.
persevering through that. And and choosing to still continue to believe. And that is so
Mm-hmm.
powerful, because I know I'm in a stretch season right now, and that just blessed me. Just hearing when, like I said, I always enjoy talking to you because you just fill me up, girl, with with your words. So you just fill me up with your words of wisdom,
Oh,
and you
it's only
always,
because God make me go through these things. Like I'm
yes.
never talking about something that I haven't gone. Like you're going through it.
But the beautiful thing
Okay,
about that is what you're going through is going to inspire someone else and encourage someone else. Like your pain, your
that's my prayer.
suffering is not in vain whatsoever. It's going to bless and help someone else. So, because I know it's been moments
Yes.
where it has blessed and encouraged and it helped me. I'm just proud that you're a willing vessel, because again, you have to make that choice and you making that choice
Yes.
daily. And I know it's
Every day.
it's not always an easy choice, but you do it, friend.
Mm-hmm.
You do it.
Girl, listen. It's by his strength. Because sometimes I be like, my God, I'm gonna just lay there. He be like, no, you're gonna get back up. Okay. But my mom always says life is about the choices you make. So choose wisely. And so I may not have always made the best choices, but in making those bad choices and going through those lessons, I can either let those lessons make me bitter or let those lessons make me better. And so I just rather do better, honey. Don't nobody have time for better.
Right. And it just made me think about choosing your heart too. Like, you gonna either choose to be broke
Yep.
or you gonna choose to continue to
To
and
be
diligent
was it
and
the
work
little Asian?
hard. Yes, the little Asian lady.
Was it the little
Yes.
Asian
And
girl?
she was
Girl,
like,
she
she
read me
read
back
me too.
up.
She was like, or she like, it's hard working out and, waking up early. But it's harder to be ugly and broke. So choose your heart.
Yeah, what?
So
Okay,
I was like, girl, that's so
sis.
true. That is so
You
true.
really do have to choose your heart because you can
Mhm.
buy everything you want and be
Mhm.
broke,
Yep.
and that's hard.
Yep. It is.
You can budget, and that's
Mhm.
hard.
Yep.
But hey, at least you won't be broke.
Right, exactly. And at least you will have financial stability and peace of mind.
That
So
part.
choose your heart.
Choose your heart.
What's some advice that you would give to that mama out there who is undergoing a divorce, and just don't know what to do next, and trying to build and trying to start planning financially by taking care of herself, and her child or children? Like, what advice would you give to that woman?
Hmm. Well, number one, I would say you need to get connected with the Lord, um, because first of all, he's the number one creative. He comes up with creative ways to help you in any circumstance, but also how he pulls in different people to help you. So start out praying. If you're at a church, go to your pastor. I know I did. I said at the altar. Okay, I cried at the altar, and Pastor Tracy was like, "Baby, I got you. Thank you." Look for resources. Be curious. Look for resources. Are you working a job that is working for you? Okay. If it's not, okay, does your job pay for you to go back to school? Let's say you're a CNA. Okay, you work for a hospital. They pay for school a lot of times. Look for grants. Look for funding so that you can go back to school and get you another degree. Um, Look on YouTube. Find something to teach you about another trade or a business. Okay, you like making clothes. Okay, see if you can save to buy you an embroidery, device that you can start making clothes with, or anything that you can find to make a business for yourself and alleviate, some of the stresses financially. If you have multiple kids, okay, well, start speaking to them life. Um, they definitely need to be in the word, because when your kids are in the word for real, it's gonna make things so much better for you. And this is why. because they're not going to be so influenced by the society today. Like, these kids today are led by social media. So when you actually let them pull back from that and focus on the word, start making family time, start looking up women who are going through what you've gone through. There's a lady on Instagram. She has, I think, 5 kids, and she teaches them generational wealth and financial literacy. She has these papers that she print out, and she'll teach them. Okay, let's say you're 18, you graduated high school, you're making a decision, you don't want to go to college. Okay, so what is that going to look like for you? Let's write it out. And I love that. And she's a single mom. So start looking up those resources. It is not, you're not dead. It's not over. You're not done. You're not finished. You have these children or kids to raise, and God still has purpose for you. So in the search for the assignment that God has on your life, just find your community, go to God, be curious, research the things that is going to help you grow, and make sure that you spend some time with those kiddos and enjoy life. Just enjoy life. It's
Yes.
all going to work out in the end. It
I
really is.
love that. I love that. Come on with the gems, Chelsea. Yes, girl. Listen, I told y'all I love talking to her because when I say she is full of so much wisdom, and y'all should definitely check out her blog, Christian Curvy Cool, where you can get more of these gems and life lessons and just more about her walk, her faith walk, and just this journey in general. So that has definitely blessed me. And before we end today, I would like to ask you, what is one thing that you're leaving at the dinner table today?
Ooh, I am leaving behind the cape, as my therapist used to say. Take the cape off. I'm leaving the cape on the table. I don't have to wear it. God has graced me enough to do what needs to be done without me feeling like I have to be the one that does it all. I can
Yes.
take a break. I can relax.
Yes, black women. Yes, black woman of God. Y'all put that cape down. Please, put the cape
down. No more strong black woman. I am the passenger princess. Okay.
Period. Okay.
Period.
I love it. And what's one thing that you're taking away from this conversation today?
Continuing to trust God and be influential.
Yes.
Influential like you guys. You and Alex, y'all are doing amazing.
Well, thank you so much, sis. I enjoyed having you. I love you so much. And thank you all so much for watching this episode of Culinary Conversations. Be sure to check out the recipe. There will be linked in the show notes below. And until next time, bye.